Star Trek in 2025, Strange New Worlds Season 3, Star Trek's first movie in 9 years and more. Star Trek has always thrived in moments of renewal. Across nearly 6 decades, the franchise has reinvented itself again and again, whether through daring storytelling, new casts, or bold creative risks. Now, in 2025, the Star Trek universe is poised for another landmark year, one that feels like a convergence of everything the modern era of Trek has been building toward. With the release of Star Trek Strange New Worlds Season 3, the highly anticipated first Trek movie in almost a decade, and whispers of fresh spin-offs on the horizon, 2025 might be one of the most important years for Star Trek since its 21st century revival began with Star Trek Discovery in 2017. Here's a deep dive into why this year matters so much, what fans can expect from Star Trek's big returns, and how these new chapters might redefine the franchise's future. Strange New Worlds Season 3, boldly going even bolder. When Star Trek Strange New Worlds premiered in 2022, it quickly became a fan favorite, balancing classic Trek optimism with modern character-driven storytelling. The series embraced an episodic format, recalling the original series and the next generation, while also threading through ongoing arcs about Captain Pike's destiny, Spock's complicated relationships, and the growing tensions with the Gorn. Now, Season 3 arrives in 2025, carrying huge expectations. Season 2 ended on a nerve-shredding cliffhanger, with the USS Enterprise caught in a desperate battle against the Gorn. For the first time, Strange New Worlds leaned into a season-ending war scenario, signaling a darker turn while still holding on to the adventurous spirit fans love. What to expect in Season 3? The Gorn conflict intensifies. Season 3 will finally deliver the long-teased showdown with the Gorn. Earlier appearances painted them not just as savage predators, but as a complex and terrifying enemy with their own methods of survival. Expect Season 3 to expand on Gorn society, tactics, and motivations. Pike's leadership tested. Captain Christopher Pike has always been a man who knows his future, one marked by tragedy. But how does a man lead when he already knows his ultimate fate? Season May 3rd pushed Pike into increasingly difficult choices, testing whether he can still inspire his crew even under the shadow of destiny. Character arcs pay off. Uhura's journey from cadet to trusted officer, Lon's inner conflicts tied to her Gorn past, and Spock's struggle between Vulcan logic and human emotion are all threads that have been carefully woven over 2 seasons. Season 3 is positioned to tie many of these arcs together, while possibly setting up Spock for his trajectory toward the original series. With its mix of high-stakes battles, emotional storytelling, and the dazzling visuals that have made it one of the most cinematic Trek shows to date, Strange New Worlds Season May 3rd stand as the crown jewel of modern Star Trek television, the first Star Trek movie in 9 years. It's hard to believe, but the last time audiences saw Star Trek on the big screen was Star Trek Beyond in 2016. Despite strong reviews and a passionate fan base, the film underperformed at the box office, leading Paramount to put the film franchise on pause. Over the years, there have been many attempts to revive Trek at the movies, projects involving Quentin Tarantino, Noah Hawley, and a long-rumored Kelvin Timeline sequel with Chris Pine and Zachary Quinto. None materialized. Now, after nearly a decade, Star Trek is back in theaters with a brand new movie set to release in 2025. What we know about the film. While Paramount has kept tight-lipped about specifics, here's what has been confirmed. The movie will not be another Kelvin Timeline entry, but a fresh standalone story set within the broader Star Trek canon. It will be directed by Toby Haynes, best known for helming standout episodes of Andor and Black Mirror. His reputation for thoughtful, character-driven sci-fi makes him a compelling choice. The film will introduce an all-new cast of Starfleet officers rather than revisiting familiar faces. This bold direction signals Paramount's intent to refresh Star Trek for a new generation of theatergoers, while still appealing to longtime fans. Why this movie matters. Star Trek has always occupied a unique space in science fiction cinema. Unlike its rival Star Wars, which thrives on mythic storytelling and large-scale space opera, Trek movies traditionally blend action with moral dilemmas and thought-provoking ideas. After nearly 10 years away from theaters, The challenge is not just to make a good Star Trek movie, it's to prove that Star Trek can still thrive in cinemas in an age dominated by Marvel, DC, and streaming epics. If successful, the 2025 film could open the door to a new era of Trek movies, potentially creating a parallel track to the franchise's robust streaming presence. The expanding Star Trek universe. While Strange New Worlds and the new movie headline 2025, the wider Star Trek universe isn't slowing down either. Over the last 8 years, the franchise has steadily expanded on Paramount Plus with Discovery, Picard, Lower Decks, and Prodigy. In 2025, the next wave of projects begins to take shape. Starfleet Academy. Currently in development, Starfleet Academy will explore the training grounds of the Federation's future leaders. Set in the 32nd century after the events of Discovery, the series promises to mix coming-of-age drama with the high ideals of Starfleet. Think of it as a blend between Star Trek and Harry Potter, a show about young cadets grappling with friendship, morality, and the responsibilities of carrying the Federation's legacy. Section 31. Initially rumored as a spin-off starring Michelle Yeoh, Section 31 has been reimagined as a Paramount Plus movie event. It will focus on the shadowy intelligence branch of Starfleet, exploring espionage, ethical gray areas, and Yeoh's fan-favorite character Philippa Georgiou. If successful, it could pave the way for more special event Trek films on streaming, separate from theatrical releases. The future of animation. With Lower Decks nearing its end and Prodigy continuing to build momentum on Netflix, animated Trek remains an important part of the franchise. There's already chatter about new animated projects, including a possible anthology series that could explore untold stories across different eras of Trek history. Why 2025 feels like a turning point. Star Trek in 2025 feels strikingly similar to 2009, when J.J. Abrams' reboot film brought Trek back into mainstream pop culture. But this time, the franchise has the advantage of a deeply interconnected TV universe, a passionate streaming audience, and a willingness to explore diverse tones and genres, from comedy to war epics. The arrival of Strange New Worlds Season 3 and the new movie within the same year isn't just coincidence, it's a statement. Star Trek is once again aiming to balance its television roots with its cinematic ambitions. For longtime fans, it's proof that the franchise is not just surviving but thriving. For new viewers, it's a perfect jumping-on point to experience the wonders of the final frontier. Looking ahead, what comes after 2025? If history is any guide, Star Trek will continue to evolve. The success of the new movie could lead to sequels or spin-offs. Strange New Worlds may continue building momentum toward the fateful events of Captain Pike's story. And the franchise's growing roster of shows means Trek will remain a major player in the streaming wars. But more importantly, Star Trek's enduring legacy lies not just in ships, captains, or alien worlds, it's in its vision of a hopeful, united future. In a time when the real world often feels divided and uncertain,